So you've got a WordPress site. You spend a ton of time on keywords, you write great content. But what if I told you the images you're uploading are quietly sabotaging all that hard work? Today, we are diving deep into WordPress Image SEO. And trust me, by 2026, this isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely critical for your rankings.
So let's just get right to it with this question. Are your images an asset or a liability? Are they helping you climb up the search results, or are they a dead weight holding you back? The answer, as you're about to see, is a much bigger deal than you might think. Okay, check this out. This is a perfect example of what's happening on millions of websites right now. On the left, you've got that default camera file name, total gibberish to a search engine. On the right, a descriptive, keyword-rich name in a modern format. Just this one tiny change sends a massive signal to Google about what your content is about. And believe me, we are just getting warmed up.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. What are we even talking about when we say image SEO? Most people think it's just about stuffing some keywords in a box, but the real power of your images is often invisible, working behind the scenes on things you really care about, like page speed and user trust.
So here's the deal. Image SEO is really about two things: making it easy for search engines to understand what your images are and making it easy for users to load them. Think of it like a three-legged stool. You've got content and context on one leg, accessibility on another, and pure, raw technical speed on the third. You need all three for it to stand up.
And you know, the stakes for getting this right have never been higher. The way Google looks at websites has completely changed. Images aren't just pretty decorations anymore. They are a fundamental part of the user experience. And because of that, they're a fundamental part of SEO.
Take a look at this number, 80%. Any guesses what this represents? It's pretty staggering.
That 80%, that is the percentage of desktop web pages where the single largest thing that has to load is an image. Now, why is that a huge deal? Because that element is what Google measures for its largest contentful paint, or LCP, a super important score for page speed. Bottom line, if your main image is slow, Google sees your whole page is slow, and that will absolutely tank your rankings.
So here's the takeaway. Your images influence pretty much every signal search engines care about today. They affect how users engage with your site, how accessible it is, its raw speed, and how it performs on mobile, which, remember, is where Google looks first. A single, unoptimized image can cause a domino effect of bad signals.
But here's the good news. This is all totally fixable. You just need the right playbook. So let's walk through the 12 essential steps to get your image optimization on point.
First up, phase 1, the foundation. I want you to think of this as your prep work. This is the stuff you do before you even upload to WordPress. Getting the format, the file name, and the quality right from the start prevents so many headaches down the road. It's all about starting with the perfect raw materials. And step 1 is choosing the format. Honestly, this choice is simpler than ever. As you can see, WebP should be your go-to format, your default. It gives you incredible quality with a much smaller file size, which means lightning fast load times. JPEGs and PNGs, they still have a role for sure, but they shouldn't be your first choice anymore.
Now, before we hit the next phase, let's pause for a second on something crucial: alt text. This is not just some random SEO field you stuff with keywords. It serves two incredibly important audiences. First, it makes your site accessible to people with visual impairments by describing the image. And second, it gives search engines powerful, undeniable context about what that image actually is. Which brings us to phase 2, which is all about adding that context inside of WordPress. This is where you connect your perfectly prepared image to your content. You're writing that descriptive alt text we just talked about, you're defining the image dimensions to keep your page from jumping around as it loads, and you're cleaning up some technical clutter, like those pesky attachment pages WordPress loves to create.
And finally, phase 3. This is all about speed and discovery. Once the image is on your page, how do you get it to your user as fast as humanly possible? Well, that involves compressing it, telling their browser to cache it, and using something called a CDN. Basically a global network of servers, to deliver it from a location right near them. The last couple steps are just about making sure search engines and social media can find and feature your amazing images.
Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. 12 steps for every single image? That sounds like an insane amount of work. But the key here is to work smarter, not harder.
Are you feeling a little overwhelmed by that checklist? Yeah, that's a totally normal reaction. Manually resizing, compressing, and caching every single image you upload, that is just not realistic workflow if you're trying to run a business or a blog.
And here's the secret. You don't have to do it all by hand. Modern tools, like the Jetpack Boost plugin that was mentioned in the source material, are built specifically to automate the most annoying, time-consuming technical parts for you.
And this is what that automation really looks like. A good tool can handle almost all of those Phase 3 performance steps we just covered. It'll compress images automatically, convert them to WebP on the fly, deliver them from a super fast CDN, and manage all the caching rules, all without you having to lift a finger.
Which really brings us to the single most important idea in this entire explainer. Image SEO isn't a separate task to attend to. Now it's shared across content, performance, and accessibility. It's not this isolated chore anymore. It's a core part of creating a great website, period.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Every single image on your website is sending a signal to Google about your page's quality, its speed, and its relevance. So the real question is, what story are your images telling today?